Hey guys, want to talk to you a little bit today about how I'm powering this 144 Sprinter with an auxiliary power source. One of the kind of super confusing parts of the upfit process for me on this van, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in the electrical side of this and was pretty skeptical on what some of the power units were able to power without going like full-blown multiple batteries, and I wanted to keep it really simple. So what I ultimately ended up doing is going through the Goal Zero product line, and I decided on the 1500x based on everything that I was planning on using and charging. There was a little bit of a risk there because I hadn't seen the 1500x charge much. I mean, no one had really used it for powering an entire van or motorhome or whatever. And there wasn't much information at all on whether that thing would adequately charge a heater, which is a super important component of this vehicle. So I want to show you a little bit about my setup and talk to you about exactly how it's been working, and hopefully this will help you determine what you need and how big you need to go. So let me show you what I got going on in here. Obviously you can hear some music. The Goal Zero does power my audio system. The factory head unit, of course, back here is that comes from the main battery. But the amplifier that's in here, the 6 speakers and the subwoofer, all of that is powered by the Goal Zero. I also have the obvious stuff like all of your USB ports, outlets. I've got a MaxxAir fan which is on, and this is charging an iPad right now. I've got virtually every single light on in the van that I have, including garage lights back there and down there. So all of that's on, stereo's on, and most importantly, the heater's on. I've got the Espar D2 S2 Diesel heater, which is just ripping warm right now. So I've got that on. So for the most part, aside from having a little fridge in here, the power is maxed out right now, and the 1500x is performing flawlessly. So I guess the question is, how long will that last? I just got back from a 5-day, 5-night trip with the family, and we went through some pretty cold weather. The highs in the day were 40 to 50 Fahrenheit, and the lows were anywhere from 12 to 20 Fahrenheit in the evening. So we ran the heater a bunch in the evening and throughout the night and in the mornings to stay warm. And we had the obvious utilities on, lights and charging phones and stuff like that. And with only a 100-watt trickle charging 100-watt solar panel on the roof, charging the Goal Zero for maybe 5 or 6 hours a day, we literally made it 5 days, 5 nights on the 1500x without charging it. So that's pretty impressive. We pulled out of the driveway with 100% battery. We pulled into the driveway 5 days later with like a 12% left. So I was super impressed there. And that's not the only way that I have this system set up to charge after today, that is. I just got this Goal Zero link module. So what this does is it got that upside down. That adapts into the Goal Zero and then ultimately ties into the battery of the vehicle, so it will charge the Goal Zero while I'm driving. which is going to be a huge boost. So we just barely made it through, 5 nights and 5 days without that, and only relying on the solar charge. With that, I think it's going to be pretty limitless. I don't think we would ever have to pull the Goal Zero out and charge it, or use the fast charge unit that I have by just pulling an external power source and plugging it in and charging it that way. So pretty self-sustaining system. Full disclosure, I'm testing out a couple of different methods of trying to keep the Goal Zero warm, and I'll show you what I have going on right now, as long as you don't laugh too bad. But I've got a soft cooler with some cutouts to allow me to be able to use the Goal Zero, plugs. But what I have is I have it stashed underneath the bench seat, so you can kind of see it's pulling 100 watts. It's 59% capacity, with literally everything I could think of pulling power out. It says it'll last another 5 hours. So it's kind of an unrealistic test, because nobody would ever be running all this stuff all day. But it gives you a good scale. So the Yeti is stashed underneath there. It's fed from a really awesome integration package that I got from Freedom Van Gogh over out of Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, I think. Grant over there has wired up a super simple, effective Goal Zero integration kit that I purchased, and it really helped tie everything together, and it's working really, really well. What I'm most impressed about with this system is that it's powering the heater. That was, like I said, it was the biggest bit of skepticism I had in this whole system, and not a lot of information on it. And even talking to people who know a lot about this stuff, they still hadn't seen a 1500x test be tested to power an Espar D2 S2 heater. So the fact that I did it, trusting that it would be done with my family in here for 5 days, 5 nights, is pretty impressive to me. And now that I have this link module, knowing that anytime we're actually driving the van, that Yeti's getting charged, it's a pretty limitless setup. I think that the only reason you would ever go bigger, maybe stepping up to the 3000x, couldn't imagine ever going bigger than that for a van. But if you had like a kitchenette and you were going off grid, you maybe didn't have the reliability of a solar charge, and you just had a lot more power that you had to generate or feed to other things. But the 1500x is a really good solution. It's sizable. Like I said, you can slip it underneath a bench seat, or even put it in tucked in by a wheel well in a custom made box or whatever. So that's in general a review. I probably didn't hit all the points I was planning on hitting, or didn't answer all the questions that some of you might have. But hopefully this is a good example for you, and helps you make your decisions on how you can power your van. Again, I can't recommend Freedom Van Gogh enough for how much they've helped me, and just kind of the products that they're building, and really their expertise in tying Goal Zeros into these vans. So definitely give those guys a look up, give them a shout. And I think they sell a bunch of other cool stuff too. Anyway, good luck. Hope this helps. See ya.